Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
外エキサイトエキサイトからエキサイト心が Be the one alright 明日の地球 I'm just kidding, guys. No, it's welcome to the Rider Time Archive here on the Morphin Network. I'm Mike Kamen Riders, your host, and Merry Christmas, guys. What a great way to finish off the Christmas season than with a winter film for Kamen Rider. And of course, the winter film we're talking about is Kamen Rider Generation Final. Build and Exay with Legend Rider. And yes, this is a fantastic film. I'm going to be honest, I've only seen the first one with Pac-Man way back when, and I've seen the Generations Forever when it came out on Pluto TV, but I've never saw Generations Final. I was more focused on watching all the TV episodes as opposed to keeping up with all the movies, because there are so many movies. It's so hard to keep up. And then there's the V-Cinex, V-Cinemas, what's it called? TTFC, Telebikun. There's so hyper battle videos, which are usually with Telebikun. There are so much Kamen Rider material between W and, let's be honest, Skits, that it's hard to keep track and keep up with everything as you're going. But the benefit of watching all the content after the fact is that you not only know the whole checklist of things you need to watch, but also in what order to watch them, because the problem with doing all the episodes and then all the movies is the order in which they happen is kind of confusing. Now, to give a specific example, Kamen Rider Gaiden. I have the first two on DVD. You got Baron and Zangetsu, and then Duke and Knuckle. I have both of them on Blu-ray. And yeah, at least for each of these two Gaidens, one of those two takes place somewhere in the middle of Kamen Rider Gaim, while the other one takes place sometime after Kamen Rider Gaim. So that gets kind of confusing, even if you've watched the TV show all the way through, because it's like, when did this happen exactly? But yeah, no, it's pretty tedious to have to keep track of. But no, the Gaiden movies, no, we're whenever we do Kamen Rider Gaiden, we're gonna do the Gaiden movies after, because they are sequels. So even though certain chapters, specifically Zangetsu and Duke take place midway through the series, while Baron and Knuckle take place after. We're still gonna do them after we do the actual TV series. But what's really good about Kamen Rider Build is that I don't have to worry as hard about this, because we don't really need to watch Night Rogue. It has specials, because it doesn't have that much of an impact on the story. And the Telebikun special, it's literally just recapping all the full bottle combinations and then showing, oh, there's a Bear TV one. And that's pretty much it. There's no reason to watch the hyper battle videos or Telebikun specials for Build, so we just have to watch the 4 movies, and this is the first one of them. So we got Kamen Rider Heisei Generations Final. Now, I'm not gonna lie though, it is kind of weird how the second movie in the series is called Final, because We just had the Pac-Man one the previous year, and now the second one's called Final. Now, I know the reason behind this. It's just, as far as naming conventions go, it's just kind of weird, because imagine having 3 movies, calling the second one Final. See, like, when I always make the joke of when Kamen Rider, the first, if it were to have a third movie, it should be called, the 3 movies are Kamen Rider the first, Kamen Rider the next, Kamen Rider the last. It makes sense. It's a trilogy. It finishes things off. But yeah, no, like Naruto the last exists, and then there's like another Naruto movie after that. I don't know. It's like they don't really know the definition of the word final. I really hope that's not the case. But yeah. Now, the cool so just to give you an understanding of what the first one was about. The first one was just Kamen Rider X8 and Kamen Rider Ghost fighting against Dr. Pac-Man. Literally, the bad guy is the Namco character Pac-Man. And yeah, there's like 3 other bad guys. One of them is played by Hiroshi Tanahashi. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's really not much to say about it. And the events of that film don't really impact the events of this film. It can be kind of confusing if you're watching this movie before watching any of the previous 6 seasons of Kamen Rider that this is based on, 5 if you exclude Build. But the main takeaway is Kamen Rider Ghost is totally fine. Like, that's the one you have to worry about the least, probably. Kamen Rider X8, also, it's like, who are these characters? But so that one's a little bit trickier. Gaim, you may have to ask, like, who's this dude in the forest? But the thing is, it's not that big of a deal. You could just make the assumption that the dude was already in that forest. Forze is probably the other easy one, because the main character is a teacher. You don't have to know that he used to be a student, but now he's a teacher. You just have to know that, hey, he exists, and he's a teacher. Oh, cool, we got a teacher Kamen Rider. It's like Tommy Oliver. But then there's a part where that other teacher says, "Oh, he went to help Yuki go to the spaceship with Kengo so that they could go to Mars." I'm like, no, so people could be like, who's Yuki? Who's Kengo? But that's totally fine. You could perceive them as extras. Now, the one that is the biggest issue in terms of trying to like bridge the lack of seeing that season to this movie is O's, because this movie does involve a character who previously died and has come back to life. And the thing is, there was a narrative impact of that character dying. So seeing that character come back, it's like, it's tear-jerking if you've watched O's. Not so much if you've never seen it and this is your first time being exposed to O's. And that's kind of sad. You're more confused than sad or angry or disgusted or any other emotion. You're just confused, and you're right to be confused, because who are these like who's this bird dude? Why is it important that he shows up? And even though you see certain flashbacks, you do kind of feel like maybe there should have been some impact. Maybe there should have been more impact by having actually seen that season in order to get more context and feel the weight of that scene. But it is what it is. But with that in mind, that's kind of the issue I have with the MCU, because you have all these supplementary TV shows that directly impact events of movies moving forward. So that becomes an issue if you only watch the movies in theaters. If you don't have Disney Plus to watch to watch WandaVision or or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or Miss Marvel, or whatever other shows Disney Plus has, you're going to be kind of confused as to, like, why is Wanda the bad guy in Doctor Strange 2? You know, that's going to be kind of confusing to you if you haven't watched WandaVision. Actually, even if you have watched WandaVision, you'd probably still be kind of confused. But yeah, so it's like, if you don't watch the supplementary content, it's gonna become confusing, and that's an issue I have with the whole multimedia thing, because you have to follow up on everything, and if there's some kind of impactful scene that's supposed to happen, it doesn't feel as impactful if you're not as knowledgeable about that bit of information, because you just happen to have missed it. So yeah, the one downside of doing Kamen Rider Generation Finals one of the downsides of doing Kamen Rider Build as the first main timeline seasons of the archive is you have this team-up film with all these seasons that you haven't reviewed yet. But it is what it is, you know? But no, this movie, it came out, let's see, 2018, if I recall. No, 2017 is when it came out. And let me make sure. Hold on. Yeah, it's a Generations fun. Yeah, 2017. It was the winter film of Kamen Rider at the time, because starting with Kamen Rider W, they would always have winter films where they would team up with the previous writer. So you had 2010 War, 2011 Core, 2012 Megamax, 2013 Ultimatum. So that's up to Wizard. Then you have the Sengoku one with Gaim. Yeah, the one with Gaim. And then after that, it gets kind of weird because you have the Lupin one, followed by, actually, I'm trying to remember, what was the Gaim side of that team up? I'm trying to remember it, because I do know that, like, it ends with like having an orange shift car, but I'm trying to remember what it was. All I remember is that the villain for the drive side was Kamen Rider Lupin. But regardless, actually, was there Ghost versus Drive one? Hold on. Kamen Rider Ghost Winter film. Hold on. I'm pretty sure there was. Wait, no. Kamen Rider Ghost, Kamen Rider Ghost, Kamen Rider Ghost. Oh, yeah, Movie Wars Genesis. Yeah, so there was a winter film. Yeah, that's right. It's the one with Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and Raphael as monsters. I forgot about that. See, the crazy part is I had the actual icons for those three, but I haven't seen that movie, so that's kind of an issue. And no, it was around that point where I just stopped being able to keep up with all the movies. But then the following year, you got Heisei Generations, Dr. Pac-Man, and then you got Generations Final, which is this movie. And then you got Generations Forever with Geo. And then, weirdly enough, you're going to have another Generations movie. It's like Generations the First, or something like that. New Generation the First, with 01 with Geo. But we're not, like, we're going to stop right here. We're going to stop right here with listing through the Generations film. So yeah, no, it's a winter film. It's got a team up crossover, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, no, it's so here we are. So try to bear with me as we go through the plot, because there's a lot of content to cover. and I want to go through this as quickly as possible. Okay, so the movie begins with what appears to be Kamen Rider build turning Kamen Rider X8's powers into a full bottle, and of course Parrot is there, really damaged. Now, for those of you who don't know, Parrot is a bugster virus who infected Kamen Rider X8 when he was a child, and somehow made him good at video games. And of course, he becomes safe, becomes self-aware, he wants freedom, blah blah blah. But the gist of it is Emu, who is Kamen Rider X8, and Parrot are effectively twins. They're effectively twin brothers, where one's human and the other is a computer virus who takes a humanoid form. And of course, he becomes Kamen Rider Parrot. And of course, the name Parrot comes from the word paradox, but we don't have to worry about that. Yeah. So Emma wakes up. He finds out that he made 2 full bottles, not 1, but 2 full bottles. And from out of nowhere, and we're just really confused, what's going on. We're just super confused, how did I get these 2 full bottles? And interestingly enough, the 2 full bottles are Video Game and Doctor. Video Game and Doctor, you say? But before we could start questioning what's going on with this, we do see a problem where there's a bunch of bugsters showing up. Now, we haven't seen bugsters in this dimension because this is an alternate timeline where the Pandora box creates the skywall. And using the 2 full bottles, he's able to turn into Kamen Rider X8, oddly enough. He's like, okay, I'll just roll with this. Meanwhile, there's a mysterious figure with blue gears who's lurking around, and he throws Banjo into another dimension using the giant hand called the Enigma Machine. And what is this other dimension? It's our dimension. The dimension where X8 exists. But because of what happened in the opening scene, Emu can't transform, leaving the other 3 riders to fend off for themselves and protect the hospital. But oddly enough, despite being incredibly powerful, they are not able to properly take care of these bugsters. And they're met with a new threat who looks similar to the guy we met before, but a little bit differently. A red dude shouting, "Funky!" And yeah, instead of having blue gears on his left side, he has red gears on his right side. These are actually pretty cool designs. And, well, speaking as someone who actually watched Build the TV show, but not the movies, we do see these designs a little bit later. Just not quite the same, though. Actually, come to think of it, are they even the same shade of blue? No, I think Remocon is actually a lighter shade, but I could be wrong. We're going to look into it later, but yeah, no, we got a left-sided blue dude and a right-sided red dude, and he also has a giant hand. Meanwhile, despite Banjo being on the X8 side of things, and is being pressed, hey, aren't you the guy who stole Endless Powers? No, I don't know, but you have the build. Yeah, but I it doesn't mean I'm Build, though. What's going on? How could Build have stolen powers? I've never seen this before. Parrot turns out to have been pushed into Build's dimension, and he wants Sento to return Emu his powers, but he has no idea what he's talking about. And of course, they're met with frickin' Master. Yes, frickin' Bloodstark. He has a different name later in the show, but we'll get to it when we get to it. And of course, he's like, oh yeah, no, there's a scientist way back when who worked with Dr. Kisaragi, and he wanted to create dimensional travel, but Kisaragi just kind of went against it. Oh, and by the way, I got these 2 full bottles for you to borrow, so yeah, have fun with those. And of course, those 2 full bottles are Phoenix and Robot. But we're gonna get to those a little bit later. Yeah, so those are Hokuto bottles. And of course, they ask him, why'd you betray us? More on that later. Right now, you got other things to deal with. Bye. And that's the last we even see of Bloodstar. He doesn't even transform in this one, but it is what it is. Of course, I do have to ask, why is he even helping them out in any way? That doesn't even get explained either. But they have a fight scene. Both sides of the equation have a fight scene. And on the X8 side, it turns out the only person who's able to do real damage is... Drum roll, please. Dan Kuroto! Yes, our beloved anti-Rohan Kishibe god has arrived. And yes, he is the anti-Rohan Kishibe because the actor has a crazy, crazy background. Like, despite, like, for example, the thing about X8 is despite it being a season about doctors, the one character who doesn't work at the hospital, Dan Kuroto, is played by an actor who has a PhD in pharmacology. We have an actual doctor in a show about doctors, and he's not a doctor in the show. That's crazy. Also, he does martial arts, and like, he is jacked. Like, damn. He is a real-life version of Rohan Kishibe. Personality-wise, he's like the perfect opposite of Rohan Kishibe. He's very self-centered. He's very flamboyant. He loves to bask in the limelight. You know what? He's kind of like Loki, if you think about it, just to give you an idea. And the only reason the reason why he's able to damage these mysterious new bugsters is because he uses a build Gashot. So I'm guessing that's a promotional item, but yeah, built Gashots. And thanks to praying from Onari from the Tenkuchi Temple from Kamen Rider Ghost, he decides to bequeath the other riders those Gashots so that they could also do some damage. Yeah, so whenever the 2 hands are activated, it creates a ripple between the 2 worlds, and yes, it is detected by all the other riders that are going to appear in this show, but we don't really see them just yet. But we do see, we see Ghost a little bit later. When, but hold on. Yeah. So, no, actually, we saw Ghosts like earlier back here, so that's kind of cool. Now, we finally do get to see the Phoenix robot form, which is really cool. And no, it's a really cool form. It actually feels reminiscent of Kamen Rider O's Tajidol form, although more accurately, it kind of reminds me of Gundam Wing Zero Hono form, because I have a bit of a collection of Gundam Wing variants, Wing Gundam variants, like Wing Gundam Fenice and Wing Zero Hono, which is basically a Phoenix version of Gundam Wing Zero, where even like the wing, like the splitting wings have a sort of a fire motif to them, and you could pull them out as flaming swords, which is really cool. I love seeing that. It's in the other room. I can't like pull it out right now to show you, but it's really awesome. But that's what it reminds me of. The other riders, they actually do manage to transform and use the gut shots in order to fight back. And even Emu tries to use his hammer sword while unmorphed. It goes about as well as you'd expect it to. Meanwhile, both parties try to investigate who's the mysterious person causing these problems, and on both ends, we actually do get to meet him. So on one side, he has like this robotic mask, while the other has like sort of a Michael Jackson looking outfit. Oh, and also we meet Eiji Hino when Banjo kind of falls into a pit, and then Emu's trying to save him, and Eiji saves him too. It's like, I gotta be there for my friends. But when they confront the scientists, not only do Sento and Parad have to fight him, but so do Eiji, Banjo, and Emu. And of course, Emu can't fight, and Eiji, he can kind of fight, but let's see who he has to fight. So it turns out Foundation X left behind some core metals, which means that on the X8 end, he was able to revive all 5 greeds. And yes, you heard it correctly, all 5 of them. So it's not just Uva, Kazuri, Mezul, and Ganel. He also revives Ankh, who is fighting with the bad guys? Huh? So a fight ensues, and an unmorphed Eiji does have to fight against him, and it's a pretty cool fight. I love this fight sequence, and of course it gets to the point where they fall off a building, and Eiji tries to reach out for Ankh, because this is actually a callback to the final episode of O's, but I can't spoil too much about that because we haven't talked about O's yet. But this is, oh man, I am just loving this. I am freaking loving this. Yeah, so he actually does manage to reach out to him, which causes him to get his memories back if he had them in the first place. So Ankh returns back to normal. But here's the thing. We're not sure if this is how he permanently comes back to life, because we know he comes back to life sometime in the future, because in the Kamen Rider O's crossover with Forze, we do get Ankh back, but it's Ankh from the future. So we don't know if this is the Ankh from the future that we've seen before. Meanwhile, Banjo single-handedly tries to fight the Red Kaiser. By the way, they're called Kaiser, and if they combine, they're called Bi-Kaiser. But unfortunately, he does lose to them. Meanwhile, they do go to Amagawa High School, because that is the location of the other hand, the Enigma from the X8 side, which they need to deactivate simultaneously with the one from the Build World. But when they meet Gentaro Kisanagi, who, by the way, one of my favorite Rider characters, they are confronted by 4 of the Zodiarts. And yes, for those of you who don't know, Zodiarts are based off of constellations in the sky, with the 12 celestial constellations being the bigger villains. And here we have Cancer, Scorpio, Leo, and Virgo. I'm surprised they didn't bring back Libra, because Libra was kind of like the one that was like in the top 3, and he's also one of the 4 that shows up in the first episode. So it's kind of weird that they went with Cancer instead of Libra, but it is what it is. So our boy, my boy, transforms, and it looks glorious. And yes, he's a high school teacher now. And of course, he transforms in front of Amu, Banjo, and Jake, who happens to still be there. So Jake and the science teacher from the TV show are the only 2 characters besides Gentaro to come back from Forze. But it's good to see both of them back, and he basically tries to stall out the Zodiarts while the rest make a run for it. Unfortunately, the Hand also manufactures a bunch of Guardians. Wow, it can even manufacture Guardians. Seems like they're a dime a dozen, because we got Toto Guardians, we got Hokuto Guardians, we can assume they're Sato Guardians. Then we got the Faust Guardians. So now we have Enigma Guardians. What is going on here? But, and it's like on this narrow bridge, which is kind of reminiscent of Dimensions in Danger. I love that, though. And, of course, we got our boy from Helheim, Kota, freaking showing up. It's like, yeah, the ripples of the Enigma have been scattered to Helheim. This cannot be ignored. And he transforms into Kamen Rider Guy, and he volunteers to fight off this massive army so that the others could get to the other end. So we got Emu and Banjo on one end, trying to disarm it from the X8 side, while Parrot and Sento try to disarm it from the build side of things. And it does seemingly work, but unfortunately, it's too late. They the two arms have spread into have created a dimensional rift that causes the two planets to converge onto each other. And of course, the two versions of the scientists combine into Baikaiser. So now we see the full red and blue version. It's kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of Kikaider or Metalder. It's pretty sweet. But of course, that means, but now that all the riders are together, we could finally transform and roll out. And I love how even though they try to say let's go simultaneously, they kind of fail. They're out of sync, and then they start arguing with each other. It's I just really appreciate those small moments of levity right there. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. And then they start riding their motorcycles, and they fight monsters while on their motorcycles. And then they get off their motorcycles, and four of them start fighting all the foot soldiers, and it's really badass. Like, they even go into their final forms. So we got Kiwami. So we got Kiwami. We got Mugen. We got let's see. Oh, we don't have Putotira, but we do get Tatoba. But that also means Ankh has to sacrifice himself again. But at least we still get to see Tatoba. And for the record, Putotira is still the final form, not Tatoba. No, sorry, not Tajidol. We have gone over this many times. Now you're probably wondering, why doesn't he use Puto Tirano instead of Tajidol? That's because Tajidol, while it's only the mid form, is more intimate. It's more sentimental. Of course, it's more important that he used that instead of his actual final form. And yes, we see Cosmic States from Forza, but we just got derailed a little bit by the whole Tajidol thing. But yeah, Tajidol. If anything, I'm kind of surprised W's not in this. It's just a weird thing. Why is W not in it? I mean, we could also ask why are Wizard and Drive not in there as well, which are fair questions, but I'm more concerned, why is W not there? It feels like this is something where W would be involved in. But it's whatever. Like, we got 6 pretty damn good writers. Well, 5 pretty damn good writers plus Ghost. So, and his hair's black now. That's kind of weird. And we get to see them fight. And of course, they do seem to cause the thing to collapse. But unfortunately, as long as the two hands maintain their clasp of each other, they're still going to cause the convergence of the two worlds. And And by the way, if you're wondering what is the motivation, somehow it's supposed to give the evil scientists immortality. Personally, I don't understand how. But Banjo manages to get his hands on the sparkling full bottle. So we got Hyper Muteki Xaid, and we got sparkling build, because keep in mind, he doesn't have his final form yet. So he has to use his mid form in the meantime. Still pretty cool to see, though. And of course, they use their rider kick. They do a cool speech then about what it means to be a Kamen Rider and why the rider system is way more powerful, why it's way more important than the Enigma system or the Kaiser system. And then they do their finishing move, and it's really beautiful. I love how they just go towards the camera as they fly away from the explosion. And of course, they all say their goodbyes to each other. All's well that ends well. And even AG says his final goodbyes to Ankh by giving him... He gives him a popsicle. You would not understand why this is so precious if you haven't watched O's. But this is so sweet, and it makes me want to cry. This is so lovely. And yeah, that's pretty much where the story ends. However, there's an end credits scene. When we have Build and Cross Z fight a bunch of Guardians, they see a mysterious gelatinous flash go past them, destroy a bunch of monsters, and it manages to steal the Phoenix and Robot full bottles from earlier in the film. And turns out it's this mysterious Yellow Rider who showed up in episode 16. Now, we all know that his name is Kamen Rider Grease, but for the audience who haven't watched the show yet, don't know that yet. But, man, what an entrance this is. I don't know which one had the better entrance, this or the one he made in episode 16. But we will find out more about him next week when we do episodes 17 through 22. What did you guys think of this movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think other writers should have been in it? Let me know what you thought. But yeah, no, I really liked it. It was a phenomenal movie. It didn't take much time to do too much talking. It had just the right balance of character interaction. Now, let's say this. It does feel weird there are how do I put it? I would say there's too many characters in a sense where you can't get too much focus, because you got the entire cast of Build, the entire cast of Xaid. And that alone would be fine if it was just those two seasons. But then you got characters from Ghost and Forze also showing up. So you don't really get to see the writers interact with each other as much. Heck, Gentaro and Ghost are barely even in it. Like, yeah, Onari, the monk who works for Ghost, is there quite a bit. But Takeru Tenkuji barely does any interaction with the other characters. And Gentaro is barely in it as well. He just shows up like 2/3 into the movie. And of course, while I love his old mannerisms, where like he does the pompadour slick, he makes his announcement. I'm Gentaro Kusanagi, and I want to be friends with every Kamen Rider. But I want to see him interact more with the other writers. And also, in this movie, you got all these moments where Banjo is kind of like, he seems to be questioning what it means to be a Kamen Rider. Why is he a Kamen Rider? What's the point of being a Kamen Rider? But one, it just feels out of character because he was already a Kamen Rider for a few episodes before that. And why is he questioning it now? But even then, it's like you'd think that he would hear from some of the other people why they chose to become writers. Maybe they would all give their own individual testimonials that would inspire him. And I would have loved that. I would love to see Gentaro say, "Hey, I want to be a writer to protect my friends," or what's the name? O's. It's like I want to be. I became a writer to keep a promise, to help those that cannot be helped. Like I want to see more of those interactions because everyone becomes a common writer, especially in the Heisei era. Everyone becomes a writer for their own unique reason, their own nindo, their ninja way. Well, it's not really nindo; it's their raido, raidado, their way of the writer. Whatever the best way to phrase it is. I just wish, okay, don't get me wrong. Fight scenes, fantastic. There's no shortage of them, and every one of them knocked it out of the park. I love that they had this eclectic combination of 6 writers that potentially had a lot of good chemistry. The one downside is I just wish we could have seen more interaction between them individually. I would have loved to see some Forze interacting with Ghost, for example, or have Forze or have Gaim interact with Xaid. Just a little bit of that. So for that, I have to give it a 9.5 out of 10 because at least with 9.5, it's fantastic. But I just need those human moments. I just need those human moments, especially with Banjo constantly asking, like, why should I be a writer? Well, here's why you should be a writer. Have you forgotten about your girlfriend? Anyways, so let's look at the comments. Let's see what you guys have to say about it. Okay. Hey, dude, Merry Christmas. Even if you don't celebrate it, I hope you have a festive season. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I'm spending Christmas by myself. So thank you so much for the season's greetings. This movie was lit. It was what Justice League movie should have been, more concise. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is more concise than Justice League, but again, more character interaction would have been lovely. Not to take away from the amount of battle, because the battle was just more character interaction. Who's your favorite writer? Minus O's. Wow, that's a tough one. Look, came late.
Yeah,
are you
Christmas?
Are you here to grease the wheels of this review?
Yes, and
you're here to
say right now, Greece's best boy.
Greece's best boy.
We're not
going to find out until next week. Oh, that's cool. What is that?
Get a little King Odger goodie bag. Got a bunch of King Odger snacks. Got
Where'd you
cookies,
get that from?
Gummies. Got a coloring book. Mitsuwa.
I don't know
the little family bonding day.
Yeah, nice. That's cool. Me too. With all the podcasts we've been doing this week and the vlogs, which is coming tomorrow on the Butter Show, be sure to tune into that. And a lot of other family stuff I had to deal with. Yeah, no, it's good to finally unwind tomorrow. I just want to sleep and eat Chinese food. Maybe if I have the energy, I'll watch Doctor Who. Because new episode tomorrow.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah. You're Goblin King, right?
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, so my favorite writer, well, obviously it's Kabuto, but if you're asking about the movie, that's a tough one because honestly, I like all of them except for Ghost. But yeah, no, I would say a little bit of O's and Forze, somewhere in that ballpark.
Ghost has gotten better.
Yeah, no, he's not as annoying here as he is in the actual TV show. Oh, nice. Okay, so your favorite writer's Decade overall, but who's your favorite writer in this movie?
Probably Gaim. No, definitely Gaim. I love Forze. Here he'd be my top 2 contenders. That's another. I heard your 9.5. I'm still giving this movie a 10.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying the movie was bad by not giving it a 10. I'm just saying like,
But no,
we just
Guy, like you're right. It was missing some of the interactions.
yeah.
That's what like these crossovers have been missing as of late.
Yeah,
But
no, like I really liked
my favorite out of this.
Yeah, no, like I really like the interactions in what was it called, Megamax, because you actually do get some FaceTime with AG and Gentaro and with Shotaro, and even AG's like, oh, Mr. Hidari, it's good to see you again. It's like, oh, continuity, how lovely. Yeah, yeah. So it's like, like if we're building a community out of these characters, at least like show us the actual community. Like remember that episode of Batman: The Brave and the Bold where you had the the JLA at the Watchtower with the Justice League. Yeah, like I want to see more of that. Like I love having like Jay Garrick and Alan Scott interact with Wally West and Kyle Rayner, or whatever other combination of like old school characters with new school characters you got. It's like because like they're a community. Let's show the community.
I like that.
Glad to see Ankh back. Yeah, we love Ankh. But sadly, no, this isn't the time when he comes back permanently, because he is supposed to permanently come back in the future. Apparently, it's just not this time. 11 out of 10. Okay, well, someone really loves this movie.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay, way better than just hell yeah.
Definitely. Miles.
Yeah.
Leagues above Justice League.
Yeah, they even made like a joke. I remember someone made a meme about it. You can't buy toys alone. With the Kamen Riders, but then because Justice League had like you can't save the world alone.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
So I love that meme. But yeah, no, this, like, despite the lower levels of character interaction than I would have liked, yes, this feels more like what Justice League should have been. And you're right about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Here we go. Internet is so crap. I hate this.
All right. So, any final Christmas wishes you want to give to the audience before we sign off for the next 48 hours?
Man, y'all just stay safe. Whatever you're doing, just be kind.
Rewind.
Be kind, rewind.
Oh, wait, I got it. Be kind, unwind.
Be kind, unwind, run fast. Never ever eat pears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't
laugh hard.
Don't fight over Chinese food.
Never fight over Chinese food.
And don't go to Pan Express just because you did make reservations.
And stay away from just stay away from fast foods during the holidays. It never turns out well.
No, and make sure you don't cry that you got a PS4 instead of a PS5, or an iPhone 14 instead of an iPhone 15.
Yo, facts. Don't be spoiled out here. Be grateful for what you get.
Yeah, it's like you know what still lives in my head rent free? That scene from the movie Babe where like throughout this whole movie, this farmer is like making this dollhouse. And then like on Christmas, like this little girl, like she unwraps the present, sees the handmade dollhouse, and she's like, "It's the wrong one." I'm like, "You little pussy! I don't care if you're 5. You spoiled brat. Like, this dude made this from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
You make it from scratch? I know I can't. I would like to learn how to.
I can build things, but no, that takes too much time. Even if I can, that takes time that I just do not have. So that man took time out of his life to do that, and she's just like, nah, I don't want it. Nah, F out of here for that, boy.
I wish I could build more things.
Oh, yes, I definitely wish I can build more.
Don't say no, just build more. Don't say no, just build more. You have got some gunpla, and in all 4 grades, you will spend hours of your time to cut them out of the frames. Don't say no, just build more.
Oh my goodness.
RX-78, RX-78, GP01.
Don't say no, just build more.
Yeah, I love how that song just became such an intense meme in the writer community. And it's so catchy. Like, you could make so many parodies of it. That's perfect.
That's why they brought them back for Skits.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Did they?
Mm-hmm.
For Geeks?
It was them and Kodakumi together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Ah, yeah. You're talking about games. Okay, cool. Love and Peace. Okay, but yeah, speaking of Love and Peace, no, we hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas season, and of course, hope you have a wonderful Christmas tomorrow. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. This upcoming week will be our last week of the year, where we wrap up some story arcs. King Oger on Thursday, Godchard on Wednesday, and a double dose of a Blazar on Tuesday and Saturday. And then finally, we'll finish off with episodes 17 through 22 on Sunday.
I'll just say out of King Oger, it's a doozy.
I can imagine. The way the previous episode ended.
Okay, it's half a doozy. It's not a full doozy. It's half a doozy. That's all I'll say.
Look, as long as Bowler Hat God gets his comeuppance, that's all that really matters.
About that,
we'll save that till Thursday.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to.
But yeah, no. So we have a nice pre-New Year's roster for you guys, and check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do movie reviews, video game news. We just did Doctor Who month for the 60th anniversary. We did Doctor Who the movie, 1996. We did the 50th anniversary Day of the Doctor from 2013, and moving 10 years into the present, Doctor Who the 60th anniversary trilogy. We did that just a few hours ago, actually.
Yes,
so
Bi Generation is here, and it is here to stay, baby.
Yeah, hey, check this out. Yeah. Now we're twins. Yeah, so look at that. Car Ranger on your end. We got Jungle Fury on my end. So we got twice the pizza for you guys.
No.
Right here.
Where's
Forever Kids?
SpongeBob, Turtles.
It's a little past Transformers. Here you go. Yeah, Jungle Fury. They're probably around the episode where what's his name shows up.
Dom?
Yeah.
Damn, I missed Jungle Master Mode.
Yeah, no, it was about half an hour ago. So actually, no, this is probably around the time where Lily turns evil.
That's fine.
Or RJ becomes a werewolf. It's one of those two things. Either way, check out our sister channel. Watch those Doctor Who specials. And next month we're going to be doing
Batman.
No, we already did Batman. Yeah.
It.
No. I mean, you're not completely wrong. It does involve Bill Skarsgård.
Involves Bill Skarsgård.
Well, Bill Skarsgård is not in the movies we're doing, technically. It's more like Bill Skarsgård's going to be in a remake of that movie in 2024.
I haven't been keeping up with the movie scene lately, so actually, what's getting a remake? What isn't getting a remake? To be fair.
Okay. I'll give you a line from the intro. But sometimes a great sadness is carried with it, and a soul cannot rest.
No, not Highlander.
No.
Alright, I'm lost.
Okay, so there was a TV show adaptation with Mark Dacascos.
Wait a damn minute. They're remaking The Crow?
Yes.
Are they out of their minds? You know what? Okay. Oh,
So,
no. If you're doing The Crows, that means...
all 4 movies, yes.
And Twee Trang.
Yes, Twee Trang is in the second one.
Damn, I just made myself sad.
Yeah, no, like it was crazy seeing her because when I first saw the second one, I'm like, oh, City of Angels, okay. Well, oh man, that Asian chick looks cute. Wait a minute, she looks familiar. Hold on. Oh my God, it's Twee Trang.
Yep.
That's crazy. She's evil in this one. Good makeup though. Good makeup.
I mean, so we've had Kimberly evil, we've had Trini evil.
We got Cat evil. But yeah, so we got plenty of content for you guys both this month and next month. And yeah, with that said, guys, if you want to check out our personal content, you could find Jared on Twitch and YouTube at Henshingate, where they do what are you guys doing this week, if anything at all?
We're doing one last stream of K-pop. We talked about Boon Boomjer. That video is going up sometime over the week.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. We're done. We are taking a break. Woo!
And you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto, where I will be playing Mega Man Battle Network series in January. So Stay tuned for that. And with all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones. Don't overdose on that Christmas turkey like you did in Thanksgiving. You know who you are. And finally, make sure that you don't ravage your presents or burn that Christmas tree by opening those presents a few hours too soon, Mr. Simpson. And
unless you live in a Mexican household where you guys, open your gifts at midnight, then you.
I mean, like in my culture, we open presents on New Year's, but at midnight. Yep. New Year's Day, midnight. That's when we open presents. And with all that said, guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you all on the 26th for some part 1 of 2 episodes of Blazar. See ya. Bye.
See ya.
We wish you a merry buildmas. We wish you a merry buildmas. We wish you a merry buildmas and a happy crossy.